Ireland has had one of its warmest and driest summers on record, and with that, more and more people are spending time enjoying the outdoors, which I do think is ultimately a good thing, but there are definitely some downsides to it that are kind of hard to ignore. I've been doing a lot of solo hiking myself this summer, and I've noticed it really tends to accumulate in the same spots: scenic viewpoints, the busiest trails, and popular camping areas. So rather than just complaining about it or feeling helpless, I'm hiking up today to a spot that I have passed a few times this summer and seen quite a lot of rubbish with completely empty bag on my back so that I can pack up and carry out as much as possible. My goal isn't necessarily to just clean up this one spot, it's also to take this as an opportunity to talk about how we can all do our part to leave places better than we find them. And we are almost there, so let's see what we're dealing with. So the spot I've come to today is Brusher's Gap Hut, which sits on the Wicklow Way route just north of the village of Lara. I've hiked by here many times and seen it covered in various amounts of litter. So today I've come prepared. My backpack is empty apart from some big and small rubbish bags, garden gloves, a singular rubber glove for some reason, hand sanitizer, and a determination to fill my backpack with as much rubbish as possible. So, rough plan of action. I'm going to start over here. In these trees is where people tend to set up their tents and camp. Then I'll move into the hut itself, and then I'll head into the dreaded trees over that side, which is going to be the most gross. I will definitely be collecting any bottles or cans that I find separately so that I can bring them home for a return scheme, and then I'm making a bit of money while I'm out here. Fruit and food waste also shouldn't just be dumped. It does technically biodegrade, but not as fast as you might think. And I think this is a pomegranate. Pomegranates definitely don't grow here. It's like the longer you look, the more you spot. Jesus. It's always so easy to spot exactly where people decide to create as their outdoor toilet. I'm gonna come back for this with my rubber gloves instead, because that's too gross. So in the hut, there's an entire double air mattress that I'm guessing is punctured and someone decided to leave behind, and someone else collected some rubbish in a lunchbox and then just left it there. And there's quite a lot more in under there, so I'm going to see if I can grab any of that stuff. Oh my gosh. What? Well, this is what I wasn't expecting. This is an entire bottle of wine that's full and unopened. What the hell? What a cork. I'm not sure what to do with this. Maybe someone hid it back there, they're going to come back for it? I'm inclined to leave this behind and just take the rubbish. I'm kind of just getting more and more disappointed in humanity. I figured I would have a quick look inside this box, which is where people can leave bits of food and stuff behind that they don't need for the next person who comes along. In case, you know, someone might have left something in there that's a little bit of rubbish, or maybe something that's like very gone off that I can dispose of. And, well, yeah, have a look. It is full to the brim with rubbish. The guest book, the little book that people sign in, can't even fit into it right now because it's just entirely rubbish. Gas canister. Keep that separate because I'm actually not sure how you properly dispose of that. I am definitely getting much dirtier than I anticipated. Got lovely black marks all over me. It's probably mostly soot from when people are having fires here. Blah. Okay, time to head into the dreaded trees over this side. And the reason I say that is because I know that this is the side that most people use as their toilet. So there will be lots of tissue paper, which, in case you thought that it was totally okay to leave toilet paper behind, it's not. Simple as. This is a before and after. I've got this entire bag, and I honestly just don't even think I have time to venture out further and collect the rest of what's all the way out there in the trees. Oh, real classy. Well, honestly, I feel like I'm equally pleasantly surprised and horrified because there's actually not as much like large bits of rubbish around the hut as I have seen previous times, and then it's more when you really go looking, you see how much is just scattered amongst all of the trees. And then obviously I'm horrified by the amount of toilet paper, because there's just no excuse for it at this stage. If you are out hiking and camping and enjoying the outdoors, you should know that you can't leave your toilet paper just thrown on the ground. So please do pack it out with you from now on. So this is our final haul. I've got an entire air mattress, one full bag of little bits of rubbish picked up from around the whole area, the lunchbox full of rubbish, this whole bag full of toilet paper, one return bottle can, because it's the only one that's not completely crushed, this item which I don't know if I can say on YouTube, a gas canister, and a glass jar. Okay, trying to get this all into my bag. This has air inside of it. Also, I found wrapped in it are pickles. That's so gross. I have now double bagged both of these. I don't want any spillages. Last thing to do is just carry this back home, where I'm going to weigh it so we can see exactly how much we collected, and I have one more thing to talk about when we do that too. Okay, I'm home and this is what I'm working with. I've also got this extra bag of cans that I picked up along the way, so a couple more return scheme items for me to make just over €1. I want to weigh and see what the total weight comes to. What are we at, like 7 kilos? So all that's left for me to do now is dispose of all of it. I feel like at the very least, for hikers and people outdoors enjoying our trails, should adapt the similar concept to like the 3-minute beach clean, or like every time you visit a beach, pick up 3 pieces of litter. Like just pick up the little bits that you see as you come across them, and then we'd all be leaving it in a much better state. And then the last thing for this video that I wanted to touch on, for anyone else who might feel a little bit like me and sometimes feel kind of helpless when you're out just trying to enjoy the outdoors and it's been left in a mess by other people, or the simple fact that our outdoors aren't really protected the way they should be, these are some quick fire things that you can also do to actually have a positive impact. So starting with having actual conversations with people, so friends and family who may not understand the negative impacts that they might be having, but also calling people out when you see someone behaving poorly. I was chatting to a guy at the hut today who passed someone else on the trail who was having a campfire, and it's definitely something that if I do come across someone doing that, I am definitely going to call them out on it and really let them know how damaging that could be, especially considering all of the damage that has been done in Ireland with the wildfires this year. and there were multiple fire pits at the hut that all smelled like they had had fires in them recently, which is just so disappointing to see. Secondly, you can report environmental crime when you see something that's being done. So the example I thought of for this is the no dumping signs that we often see at car parks and places around Ireland, and they'll usually have a phone number that you can call to actually report if you witness someone dumping or if there has just been stuff dumped there. So rather than just being a bystander, you can actually take action in that moment and report it. You can also give your time and volunteer. So whether it is a local tidy towns group that likely do litter picking days, or if you are in and around Wicklow, you can volunteer at Rewild Wicklow, who do incredible work from tree planting, trail maintenance, bogland restoration. If you can't give your time, you can donate money to a lot of these organisations as well, or perhaps your local mountain rescue group, because they also do incredible work in the mountainsides. Also, for money, you can vote with your money. Choosing where to spend your money has a huge impact. So shopping secondhand and shopping from brands that have genuine sustainability policies, whether it's 1% for the planet, or maybe they give back to local conservation activities. Then you can also just teach yourself more about the places that you visit. So whether it's about invasive species that exist there, or what are the main issues targeting that area, because I often think of the David Attenborough quote, which I'm probably going to misquote, but it's along the lines of, if children don't grow up knowing about nature, they won't care about nature, and if they don't care about nature, they won't protect nature. So I think that applies to adults as much as it does children. The more we know about a place, the more we appreciate it, the more we understand it, the more we want to protect it. And lastly, of course, you can use your actual power of voting, actually going out and voting in your local and national elections, and doing your research to find out which candidates are voicing their positions on biodiversity protection and national park funding, wildlife corridor protection, and agricultural land management. So there is so much that you can actually do to take action and not feel quite so helpless when you're seeing the negative effects happening on the outdoors that you love to spend time in. So that is that for today. I'm going to keep doing my part to leave no trace and leave places even better than I find them, and I really hope that you do too. So I'm going to go shower now because I feel pretty gross. But I hope you have a joyful week. I'll catch you in the next adventure.